Yeah, we were on a mission, got my crew at my side. Scouring the shells, we're down for the ride. Plastic warriors all lined up tight. From the comic shop counters to the late night site. It's the thrill of the hunt, gotta make it mine. I'm out here searching, yeah, taking my time. I'll flip every aisle, don't care what it takes. For that rare chase piece, I'm raising the stakes. Action figure alliance, yeah, we're bringing the noise. Rolling deep, rolling heavy with my action toys. Collectors unite, we're breaking the chains. Plastic in hand, we're playing no games. From legends to villains, yeah, I got them all. Stacked up high, every hero, every ball. Every line, every way, from the past to the new. It's a bond, it's a crew, we're the real Toy Zoo. Tear it through the packaging, no hesitation. Each piece, a reminder of dedication. We'll call it a phase, this ain't just a trend. These figures got a history, they're my closest friends. Action figure alliance, we're speaking a claim. Battling for grails, don't care about fame. From the base of the shelves, we're making a stand. This is our world, you don't understand. Paint them, pose them, fix them up right. Customs in the works, we go all night. From the rarest grails to the two-out finds. Each one's got a story burned in our minds. Action figure alliance, yeah, we're bringing the noise. Rolling deep, rolling heavy with my action toys. Collectors unite, we're breaking the chains. Plastic in hand, we're playing no games. We're playing no games. From legends to villains, yes, yeah, got 'em all. We're after legends and stories untold. Alliance forever till the end of the line. This is our mission, this is our pride. From legends to villains.
There it is.
Ah,
Of course, I have to do my adjustment.
every time.
Every time. I don't know why.
Every time I got my drink ready, so we're good.
Yep. All right. And I'm loaded with the Gatorade as usual.
Yep,
So,
yep.
You know, had to go to get a refill right before the show because, you know, I got to talk, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I could sit here and be all quiet, but that's kind of the point.
The most you talk all week, so.
It is. Easily. It used to be worse before my wife started working from home with me as well. Before that, man, I would probably say less than 100 words a week sometimes.
Well,
Grunts and belches are probably, half my vocabulary back then.
you had a caveman vocabulary.
Yep. Oh, he farted. He must like it.
So I got to do a shout out before we get started because our boy Jameson hooked it up. Appreciate you, brother.
We got T-shirts. We got stuff from fans.
Yeah. Fan made T-shirt. So
yep.
There may be some merch in the future. We'll get to that, but we appreciate you sending us these Jameson. Yeah, they're super cool.
Sure. That is super cool. Yeah, dig it. I mean, I was talking to him earlier, and I was like, I wouldn't be wearing it if I didn't like it.
Yeah, exactly. But I got a Monster Force shirt from him for Monster Force Collectors and Customs and Customs and Collections. It's awesome, man.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. So
good stuff for sure. So, dude, I'm okay. So I'm like going off script here a little bit. I got some really cool new hotness that I'm going to be like, I know we're going to wait until kind of the end of the episode to get through our normal segments and stuff like that. But some interesting and some amazing and then just some really cool. So nice. I'm excited for it and stuff you don't know about and stuff that I am betting might just tempt you to go run off in the middle of the show and buy something.
Okay.
That's the best stuff, right?
I got a couple new hotness, but nothing major. But I got a really cool Take My Money we're going to talk about with some kind of new information from that. So
that's cool. Yeah.
Some good, fantastic photos. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
June has been going on. There's been like big Marvel releases. Like suddenly the floodgates opened up. So we got a lot to talk about, and we've got guests.
Yes,
guests, plural.
One's stuck in New York City Transit
right now, but one is stuck on the train.
So we'll get to them here in a second. But Figures Not Included is joining us tonight, and that's Ed and Mikey. and we'll get to talk to those guys. Ed is also the owner of Hidden Temple Toys. So we'll talk to him here in a little bit, and Mikey will jump on when he gets off the train.
Yeah, when he gets home from work off the
Yeah.
train. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna, Ed's the sponsor essentially of this
Mm-hmm.
big super swap that we got coming up.
Yeah.
Man, I am gearing up for it. I'm really excited. Swaps are generally pretty fun.
Yeah.
Even just to hang out and if you don't make too much money, it is what it is. But I always look forward to them. And this one, it's going to be inside, which
Yes.
my transparent ass will appreciate.
We haven't had a good. Well, we had one there last year at this location. It's a great venue, but I think this was going to be even more comparable to the Clayton gym swaps. People local remember that epic time. We had 2 swaps there that were packed out a gym. Ash is in the chat. What's up, Ash? She's
the ever elusive Ash.
Yes. So
I think we got both of the evils.
Yeah.
Dick and Dookie. We got Troy.
Yep.
So and Amber showed up. That's awesome. And of course, Avi.
What's up, man?
We got a nice little crew rolling tonight already.
Yeah,
so gonna be a good one. Let's get on with that intro. And we got our guy waiting backstage, and I feel bad.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
In a pleasant world where legends collide, tiny heroes standing side by side, guardians of playtime in disguise, action figure alliance on the rise. Join the alliance, come take a stand, with the many armies ruling the land. Hail to the heroes, loaded with might, action figure alliance.
All right.
What's up, Ed?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
We are excited to have you.
Sure.
Dude, I wanted to say, we met you pretty early on when we moved down here, and dude, you guys have one of the nicest shops. It's tiny, but man, you pack it full of cool stuff. And you and your wife have always been, couldn't be more pleasant people to interact with, buy, sell, and trade with, and man, great addition to the community. So
very welcoming and always fun to go. I always look forward to going to see y'all at the store and hang out and talk toys. And this Saturday is going to be really awesome.
And yeah, I mean, like I said, it is kind of a small shop. Man, I still spend a bunch of time in there because you have so much, and it doesn't feel like it's overcrowded. And you've got a really good layout, and it's kind of like you just have to make sure you go through everything.
I know we definitely try to pack it in there. We got minimal space, but we really try to carry a little bit of everything, and we do our best to keep things organized and easy to find, and just kind of have a sense of where things are. Even though there's a little bit of chaos, it's still controlled, and you can generally get to what you're looking for. And so
yeah,
we were kind of talking about this a little bit before the show, that it's nice having the little shop, and it's been really good, but I feel like it's time to kind of expand a little more. So, we are planning to move in a couple months to a much bigger shop. And so it'll take even longer to walk around, and hopefully we'll have it just as much packed with great stuff. And, you can spend hours and hours just kind of lost. We're kind of going for the whole Indiana Jones,
this should be in a museum.
Exactly. So you'll go in, and we won't even know if you're still in the shop, because you'll be.
Mikey's Mission Impossible in itself to get here in time. So
I know.
Be safe, Mikey. We're still here.
He's got the Tom Cruise run where he just moves real fast.
Yeah.
Nobody can be faster than Tom Cruise in a movie.
So one of the cool things is next door to the new shop is what?
Oh yeah, it's right next to Hatchet Brewing's The Vault, which is gonna be really, really nice, because we've even talked about this. There's actually doors that lead into the vault from the shop, the new shop. So we are definitely gonna tag team with them. We want to have game nights. We want to have special event nights. That's cool. Cool hangout nights where people can just come, hang out, bring their coolest toys, grab some drinks, just hang out with people and just have a good time. Pop culture and talking that kind of nonsense and just having a good time. So I just feel that this was the right move for us, and it's just going to open up so many more doors for fun and building community, which is one of the best parts, I guess we're saying, meeting all you great guys and talking about stuff that sometimes I feel like when we're in our little bubbles, we don't really find a lot of other people with similar interests, especially about toys and stuff like that. I've always felt like that, but having the shop and meeting you guys and joining the underground, I felt like that bubble has gotten bigger, and it's expanding and expanding. And one of my favorite parts because of the shop is meeting such great collectors and being able to share all this kind of fun excitement that you didn't really have other people. Because I would talk to my wife about, like, oh, did you see the new release of Marvel Legends? They're so great, and you can see 2 seconds in her eyes would glaze over, and
We all know that. We've all
yeah,
done that.
we've all been there, right? And so that's been wonderful, and so I love that, and I want to keep building that community in Selma, and so yeah, very, very excited for the future.
And I'm glad you're staying in downtown Selma area, because the town of Selma has been real supportive of y'all and of us, of NC Underground, with the support and sponsoring the event. So we're really appreciative of them as well. They're usually there hanging out with us, talking. They may not know a whole lot about toys, but they're having a good time.
It's true. Selma has been wonderful. They've been so supportive since we since we just talked to them about opening our shop there, and they've bent over backwards to make sure that we had what we needed, the support we needed. And there's just so many great people down there. So we wouldn't think of leaving downtown Selma. It's just one of the best parts of opening the shop was the location we found. And so, yeah, we're very happy to continue to expand there and continue to be part of that community, because like you said, even though maybe they're not part of like the toys and everything, it's just a wonderful area to be associated with, and just help the town of Selma grow and bring more people, to that area that maybe you've never heard of Selma, because I know opening the town up, and just recently things have been kind of blossoming and turning into this new version of Selma. So a lot of people are like, oh, I remember coming through here like 10 years ago, and it was a dump, and there was nothing here, and it was like empty, or it was just all antiques. And so now that it's becoming this really fun, exciting area, we're definitely very excited to stay there and continue to grow with the town.
Yeah, they've done a lot of revitalization, and it looks really good. Like, me and the wife came to spend a day there. I got to go see toys. She did some antiquing, and we walked around and looked at stuff, and we had ice cream, and it's a good time.
And the new place you're talking about is just down the street, right? Like,
yeah. That was one of the things too about moving locations, was I was afraid that people were like, oh no, they closed up, they're gone,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't know where we were, but we're literally just down the street. Because I've heard a lot of people say that when they moved, and it was hard to get people to realize that they're just over a little bit. And so our big thing is just to let everybody know that we're going to be pretty much in the same location, just one block up, and it's going to be much nicer, much bigger, and much more exciting. So we're still there.
I'm thinking if you want my help in moving, maybe one figure per box in payment. I'll move a box, you pay me with a fig. I'll move another box, you pay me with another fig.
We'll do it by weight. Depend every 100 pounds you move.
Every 100 pounds is a hot toy. Got it.
Oh wow,
I'm down for that. Hey, it's professional help. I know what I'm doing. I can pick up a box full of action figures like nobody else. So it's worth it. It's a premium service.
Exactly. And if you need somebody to come help set up the G.I. Joe section, I'm your guy.
There you go. I know where to look for hands that are ready to jump in.
Yeah, Trey will only charge you like one vintage vehicle per display.
Hey, I'm fine with that. Well, the more help, the better.
Well, dude, that's really cool. I didn't realize that you were gonna like have the shared door and stuff, and that really could lean itself well to working with game nights and kind of maybe kind of after daylight hours or something for some fun, be able to kind of go back and forth and get your imbibage done.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think of a funny word there, and for whatever reason, imbibage was the best that I came up with.
That's good. It's good vocabulary. I like it.
Yeah, I'm not our president, but I try. Anyway.
But no, it'd be great. I don't know if a lot of people know that Selma is downtown Selma, specifically Rayford. It's a social district, so you can grab a drink, move around, walk around up and down the street, and you're really good. So
that's another
cool. Great part. So if you want to grab a beer,
all the benefits.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're really trying to make it a really fun place, and I think this will definitely add to that. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
excited to get stuff going.
I'm gonna have to talk to the mayor about a street festival.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of festivals. They're always looking for new things to come to Selma. So yeah, we're very excited to bring more ideas and just continuously introduce people to downtown and the rest of Selma, and just make it a really fun and exciting place to visit.
Nice. We
Awesome.
encourage everybody that comes to the swap, go check out downtown and all the shops and
Yeah, and the
share
thing
the
that's
love.
great about it is, you alluded to it earlier, Trey, is that, there's Hidden Temple where, our friends can spend time in, but then my wife spends off, and there's like, a bunch of antique shops that are big, legit, antique stores, and then you can go get ice cream, and it can turn into a whole day real quick and easy.
Yep.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff to see there.
Yep. Yeah, my wife almost bought some like vintage Ford Bronco sign at one of the big antique malls or whatever over there, and and had she would have spent a lot more than I did, but yeah, it's good stuff.
Covernomics, his wife went for coffee while he was geeking out in the store, which gives him more time to geek out in the store.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Coffee on Rayford is the coffee house there. It's actually probably been it's like the keystone of Selma right now. It's been there the longest, and it really is kind of like where community starts in Selma. And they have just been taken over by new ownership, and they're doing fantastic. Really, into making really good coffee. And so, yeah, if you're a bit of a coffee snob and you want to get some good, cup of Joe, Coffee on Rayford, I'm telling you, it's worth the trip.
I've been sitting here this whole time, and I've been slightly uncomfortable
because we were not like the logo. Because
we weren't in our proper location per our logo, so I had to fix that. Sorry. So much better now.
It makes a difference.
You just get used to being in a certain spot, and
yeah, it's like sleeping in the bed with next to your wife. You can't switch.
I can't sleep on the other side.
Weird.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a thing. Yeah. Well, cool. So Ed, we just dove right into talking about your store and some future plans and stuff, but not only do you have the shop and you have the podcast that you're doing, you're a collector, and I think generally we like to start off with getting to know a little bit about the person that we're talking to and what got them into collecting and what sort of stuff they're collecting and things like that. Why don't you tell us about your journey or what got you here?
Yeah, well, I mean, first and foremost, I've always been a comic book nerd. I love everything comic book related. I used to draw a lot, so comic books really spoke to me, and they really kind of inspired me to continually doing that. And I just love the subject matters, and so anything related to that kind of just kept sucking me in. And I was just a fan. Like I remember finding Ninja Turtles, and I love the comic book. And then I saw the toys, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, these are so cool. Then the cartoon came out, and it was just it spiraled that way. And I always loved collecting figures. I was always into taking care of my toys and having collections and stuff like that. And it was really, really fun. And so it just always kind of stuck with me. And it just like my whole life just always has revolved around, pop culture and comic book stuff and all that. So I just kind of went with it. And I remember there's like milestones, like when I discovered, X-Men #1 by Jim Lee, and it just blew my mind. I mean, that's a big issue for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I was all in on X-Men. I love Jim Lee. He was a fantastic artist before, but when he revamped the X-Men, I mean, it just captured my imagination. And then the cartoon, and then just the big cultural influence that comic book had on so many things. It just, blew up. And then that kind of created the whole comic book culture of artists, these incredible artists that were doing it. So we had like Tom McFarlane and Liefeld, even though he couldn't do the feet and the hands, it was good. And the image, and just these phenomenal artists. And I love following the artists. That was for me, it was like, how good is the art? And that would keep me buying the books, even if the stories were mediocre. I just loved looking at the artwork.
That cover just like, hey, I gotta buy that.
Oh yeah. And then, and then when Image Comics started, all the best artists jumped over there. So I followed them over everything. And then I was getting older, and the books were a little more mature, and they were, growing with me. And then, eventually a friend introduced me to Kingdom Come, Alex Ross, and all that kind of great stuff. So then I got into DC, and then that was a whole other, world that was just like fascinating and exciting. And so, yeah, so, that was always kind of inspiration. And then, I was a graphic designer for a long time. That's what I studied and did. But my passion was always illustrating and comic books and pop culture. And I never stopped collecting. It was always a part of it. Movies, video games, all that stuff was always like front and center in my life, and it was hard to find people to, because people are like, hey, let's talk sports, or hey, let's talk politics, or this or that. And I was like, nah, I don't, hey, have you seen the new comic book of Batman? What do you guys think of that? And they was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so it was always hard to associate with people, because it's like, oh, we didn't have the same idea of interest. And so
Yeah.
it was harder and harder for her. Finally, I found a circle of friends that were really into the same things, and that was like the best part, is sharing all that fun and exciting, and going to watch the movies and playing the games together, and going to the comic book stores and picking up books. So it's just my life has always been around that stuff. And so I got to the point where I was just kind of tired of doing the same old stuff, and I wanted to do something that excited me and that I would not get bored of. And toys, comic books, pop culture has always been that for me. And so I told my wife I would really love to open my own shop, because I think that's something that I would just enjoy every single day. And it took a little convincing, because she was like, are there enough for you guys out there? you know
Yeah.
it's like thinking that maybe it's a very small percentage of people. But no, once we opened the store and she saw how many people from different facets of life, different age groups and everything are into this stuff, she was like, wow, that's amazing. And so she's all on board now, and we've just been having a really good time. I've converted her over to a lot of stuff that she wasn't really into before. She really loves the whole business aspect of the shop too, which is nice for me, because it lets me do the creative fun stuff, and then she can crunch the numbers for me. And it's just been a perfect match, and it's just been a really, really fun time. But yeah, it's like I said, pop culture and all these like comic books and games and all stuff always been the biggest part of my life. So I've never stepped away from it. It's always been there. And so this is just like the best next step for me, where I can just kind of live it every day.
Well, that's really cool, man. So, on that note, do you find yourself, bringing your collecting kind of mentality to your shop? In other words, like,
Oh yeah.
oh, I really like this line, regardless if anybody else likes it. I'm going to stock this,
Yeah.
It's true. It's definitely been something that I do. I mean, I always say this to people when they come in. First and foremost, I was a collector. I am a collector, and a lot of the things that I wanted to see in shops is what I wanted to do at my shop. It's like I wanted to walk in and be able to find the things that I was looking for, to find weird different things that you don't see at Walmart and Target. To find those like harder
Absolutely.
to reach stuff like imports and independent toy lines and stuff like that. And so that's what pulls me to stock the shelves with. It's like the things that I really enjoy and find interesting, and I think that other collectors would also be like, wow, that's really neat. What is that? I want to put that on my shelf. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's the drive behind the way we run the shop, is really kind of like focused on the way I would like to you know find myself in a place that has all these things and does the things that I enjoy, and therefore present that to other people. And I think it's gotten a good response, because
Yeah.
people seem to enjoy the shop. They love coming by and talking to me. They love coming and seeing all the neat stuff we get on a weekly basis. And so far so good. I think it's paid off, and I think having that extra knowledge and being a collector at before, and having the groundwork in my mind of like what all this stuff means and what it is. It's not just like I'm selling, microwaves or something that I don't even care about. I'm selling stuff
Yeah.
that I love passionately. And
Yeah.
so other
That's going to show, and
Yeah.
your customer is going to pick up on that. I mean, I know I have, and
Yeah.
many others, and my wife even enjoys the shop, and likes interacting with you and your wife, and it shows. And one of the things that I've always said is that people with interests are interesting people,
Yep.
and passion shows, and people will pick up on those interests and those things. And if you can make that into something like you have, it will people will naturally gravitate toward it. And it shows in how nice you keep the shop, even though there's it's small and there's a lot of stuff in it. Like, it
All
still looks great. And the fact that you're able to put so much cool stuff in there is always impressive. I go in there and, honestly, like Trey and I keep pretty up on, everything that's going on in the toy world,
We
but
love our indie toys, and you
we
got 'em.
do. We
So,
do.
yeah.
And so going in there and sometimes seeing, oh shit, you've got that. And I haven't had a chance to put my hands on that yet. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean, I think I bought some hot toys from you.
Yep.
I've definitely bought, some miscellaneous stuff here and there. And it, it's just kind of like, man, I don't know, not a lot of shops you can go into and see hot toys sitting there on the shelf,
Mhm.
let alone, those imports and, small volume things that are very, very niche, but very cool,
But then
so.
you still have the vintage stuff. Like, I got a lot of my vintage
Yep.
Joes from your shop. So, there's still vintage stuff, throughout the store, some Star Wars, some G.I. Joe, lots of other stuff. So yeah, you keep it hopping, and things are constantly coming through. So it's
Yeah.
always cool to see something new every time you go.
Yeah, and that's what I enjoy doing is it's just constantly like, having my thumb on the pulse of the toy community and the toy world, what's coming out, what's happening. And like I said, as a collector, knowing, oh, that's going to be awesome. Oh, people are going to love that. These are the things that I love. These are the collections that people really, really enjoy, and focusing on that stuff. I'm always trying to tell my wife, because she's always trying to order things that I'm like, no, nobody's going to want that. Those are ridiculous. No, it's silly. Don't buy that. And trying to help her to focus on buy the cool stuff, the stuff that people actually want to see when they come into the
You
store.
just got to develop that taste a little bit. It'll come. It'll come.
Exactly. So
And that's another cool. That's another cool thing that you and Mikey have been to Toy Fair, you've been to SCCC, you've been to New York Comic Con, y'all been to those places to talk to toy manufacturers. Tell us a little bit about that and how that plays in with the shop.
Yeah, that's been fantastic because, well, with the shop and really kind of, like I said, staying on top of what's happening, what's coming out. Going to these shows really makes a difference. We went to Toy Fair where all the stuff was being, revealed for the first time, and we got to talk to the people there and get insights on what's happening, what's next, and all these, really cool ideas that they're working on, and a lot of these independent toy creators that are starting off their new companies, or moving forward with things that we've heard about but we just haven't, they haven't produced them yet. And so it's cool to be there and get all that information early on before, because once they go to the retailers and distributors and stuff, they've been in production for at least a year, if not more. And so when you go to these events, you can talk to them and you can kind of get an idea what's in the pipeline, or what's just starting to get going. And so you already know, kind of like, okay, that's going to be really, really cool. I'm going to keep an eye out for that. I'm going to make sure that, that is something that stays on my radar. And so that's why I love going to the shows and just seeing all the neat stuff and talking to the people that produce it. So it's been really, really fun. And so, yeah, it helps the shop because it helps me know, okay, what I'm going to go to order, what do I want to stock at the shop. And it's just super fun for me as a collector and a person that enjoys this stuff to be able to go and get those experiences and just be there when all this stuff is coming out and get first looks at that. And just, it's exciting. So it's fun. It's a double-sided enjoyment of it, because I'm doing something positive for the business, but I'm also really enjoying myself as a collector.
Yeah.
Well,
You also have one other thing that I think is amazing. You have a customer rewards program that I think is so cool.
Yeah.
And I thank you for doing that, because it's always good to go in and like, hey, coming back, I'm going to buy something else, and he's like, oh, by the way, you got this coupon. Okay, that's awesome.
That was
But
something.
what else can I buy?
I know it keeps people hooked, but it was something we talked about with my wife, and I said, I appreciate people, because coming out to a little shop out in the middle, of Selma, might be a bit of a drive for people. It's like, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate people coming out and supporting us, and people that consistently come back and support the little shop, because it's easier. You can go online and order this stuff from Amazon, or you can go and go to the bigger shops, or you can go to Walmart or Target. But it's nice to support your local shops, your local businesses and stuff like that. So I said, it's nice to have that kind of program where we say thank you for supporting us, and that's kind of what our rewards thing was kind of built upon, is just kind of like a thank you to customers for coming back and spending their hard-earned money with us, instead of going to these maybe more convenient online shops or big retail and stuff like that.
Definitely support local. And with that, Ash has a question. NC Underground Toy Swap. Will you be carrying the new mask line?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely one that I will have. We went to who's what's the company producing masks? I forget the name.
Oh God, they also do the new turtle, or a turtle line. That doesn't narrow it down because everybody does
Loyal,
turtles.
I got it
isn't
right
it
here.
Loyal Subjects?
Loyal
Loyal
subjects.
subjects. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I got a loyal subject right here.
There you go. So yeah, we went through their booth and we saw them on display at Toy Fair, and oh my gosh, they're really really cool. So like I said, being on my radar, and you're kind of like, how are these going to be? But they really like took the idea of making these feel vintage, but like engineering them where they're more modern and like they have better moving parts, and like the little figures, instead of being just 1 or 2 points of articulation, now they have ball jointed arms and they move, so they're going to be a little bit better. And they wanted to make sure the construction of the vehicles were sturdy and nice like the original ones, so they don't just fall apart on you. So they're really really cool. And yeah, we'll definitely be carrying these at the shop, because it's one of those iconic lines that I remember as a kid and that people have been clamoring for years and years and years. So Hidden Temple has to carry that line, because it's right up our alley and exactly what we want to carry.
So also you've got a YouTube channel. We've kind of talked about a little bit or touched on here and there. Unfortunately, Mikey hasn't made it out just yet,
Uh-oh,
but
yeah.
I'd like to hear how that got started, what you guys are doing. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, that's really fun, because it started off because Mike and I, even though he's about 8 years younger than I am, he was always kind of into a lot of the same kind of things: comic books, cartoons, video games. And so we always had a nice rapport with each other growing up. And, I was a little older and I loved to introduce him to cool stuff like the comic books and, the video games and the cartoons. And so we've always had that relationship. And as he got older and everything, and he found his own, love of things, he continued his love of pop culture and all that same kind of thing. And so we've always had this fun dynamic of talking about it and just having fun and laughing and just expressing how much we enjoy whatever the hot new thing is of the day. And so we've always talked, it'd be really cool if we did something with this. Like my wife would always say, you guys should record it. You guys are funny. You guys should, do a podcast or something. And we're like, that would be kind of fun. And we just never really figured out how to do it. And we were busy in our own respects. But now that, I opened the shop, and Mikey, he does his figure report, which something he's a journalist major. So he always wanted to do something in kind of that field, but he's always really liked pop culture and toys. So he kind of took off in that direction. And so I said, hey, I got this retail. I'm doing a lot of these toy things, and you got this thing going on with the toys and the news. Why don't we put them together and do our podcast and have this as the backing behind it? And he's like, yeah, for sure. So we brainstormed for a little while, and we put it together. We put a show out there. We just kind of played around with it for a little bit until we found our flow. And we had a lot of support and input from our friends, and it just kind of came together. And I figure we've gotten to a point where we're really comfortable now. I think we're on like episode 17, and I feel like we're getting to a fun rhythm. And it's just really developed, and it's just something really, really fun that we can enjoy together. And it's fun because it allows us to do those things like go to the shows together, do interviews with these companies and stuff, stuff that he was kind of doing on his own with the figure report. And then things that I wanted to get involved with too for the shop, to gather intel and information and be able to, know what's going to be hot for the shop. And so it's just kind of really lent itself well, and we've been just having a blast with it. And so, like I said, we've gone to WonderCon, we've gone to these like Toy Fair and stuff together, and we just have a fun time hanging out. And we get to talk about toys, and we get to put together these shows, and just excuses to hang out and continuously have fun talking about these things. So It's worked out really really well. So we've had such a fun time doing it, and so yeah, I think it's been something that has been kind of building up for a long time, and now we finally get to put it out there.
And for those that don't know, you talked about growing up with Mikey, y'all are cousins, correct?
Yeah, he's my cousin.
Cool.
I'm sure a lot of people know that his brother is somewhat of a celebrity.
Yeah.
And so we grew up together. My mom and their mom are very close. They were um, a couple of years apart, and they grew up, peas in a pod. And
So
so we grew.
where did the family originate? Because he's up in New York, right?
Yeah, he's in New York. So we lived in Miami. That's where we
Okay.
grew up together.
Okay.
And we lived there for forever. And then as Oscar developed his career, he moved to New York. And then later on, after their mom passed away, Michael decided also to move to be closer to his brother and stuff like that. So they ended up there. And then me and my wife decided to leave too, and we moved to North Carolina. And so you know it was like just life was taking us in this direction. And so that's another kind of blessing it was because of this like podcast and stuff. It keeps us connected even more than we
Oh
were
yeah.
before, because we spoke a lot and we talked a lot, but having this stuff to do together and take these trips together has just continuously strengthened that bond and keeps us in contact with each other. And so it's been really really fun. And it's been a wild ride, and it's a lot of fun to spend with them. And so yeah, hopefully he'll get on here and you guys can talk to him a little bit. And
Yeah.
he's a great guy. So
I have one other question about the shop.
yeah.
How many days a week is Brian there?
Brian is there quite often.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to the shop and he does not show
I know.
up. Like
Yeah,
magically shows up.
he's there pretty frequently. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
he's great. I love having him there. He's so helpful, and he's another huge toy collector. So talking about hanging out with the people that love this stuff, and you just have a good time chatting. He's definitely up there, and super fun. And he always lends me a hand when I need it. So
I know
yeah,
y'all are good friends too. So
yeah, he's there. He's there quite often. I'm not gonna cover for him.
if I lived close by, I'd be there a lot myself.
Yeah, it's a fun place.
I don't know if
It
you'd be
is.
there as much as him, but
Yeah, probably not. The wife would probably be like, "Yeah, you got to come home sometime."
yeah, he's got an allowance. Don't let him spend more than this much money each week.
Yeah.
It goes quickly.
That it does. Well, Trey, you got some slides.
Yeah, let's talk about a swap real quick.
got
I
all
got
prepped,
I got
right?
some stuff to share. So we'll start with that and go
do something
back.
like this, and then this. How about that? You're gonna present. There you go.
There it is. Okay.
That looks all right. We could try it like this too.
Yeah, that'll work. There was also this one right there.
Ooh.
Like that.
You know what? I am going to randomly poke buttons throughout the slideshow just to keep myself entertained.
I'll be on the slideshow, so I can't see you do it. So.
Yeah, well, I was hoping it was going to confuse you because that's always fun.
Okay.
But regardless,
9 times out of 10, I don't look at the chat while I'm doing the slides because I'm concentrating on doing the slides. So
yeah,
here we are. Journey to Hidden Temple Toy Swap. Awesome NC Underground Toy Swap event. For those that don't know what NC Underground Toy Swap is, we're a buy, sell, trade Facebook group. There's 2,500 in North Carolina collectors, and we love to have events in person, and they're free to set up and free to attend. So we have them in this side of the state and the western side of the state. I call it the west side. And those, lots of people that help out with the toy swap stuff, and you'll see most of them probably at this event. So we're really looking forward to it. It's a big one, and with that this is the information. It's at the Selma Civic Center in Selma, North Carolina. Easy to find. Look it up. The address, we can probably post that somewhere.
It's right there, 300 North Webb.
Oh yeah, right there, 300 North Webb Street. Yep. So it's Saturday, June 7th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and setup starts at 9 for those that are setting up. But if you can't set up, just come out, check it out, come hang out with us. It's going to be a ton of stuff. And many thanks to the town of Selma for helping us out with this and supporting as much as they have. So.
Definitely, yeah. Now we've got some fun surprises for everybody. We're gonna have DJ. We're gonna have
Nice.
concessions. We're gonna have LaRue's Beehive out there. so you
Okay.
guys can talk to his Transformer cars. It'll be really fun. We're gonna have
That's
some
awesome.
cosplayers. So
I
yeah,
think we're also going to have possibly a food truck, pizza truck.
we tried to get
Is
it,
that
but
not
unfortunately
happening?
they were booked that day.
Oh,
We're still gonna have pizza. Don't worry, we took
okay.
care of it. There will be concessions with pizza. So I know.
I know Ash was talking about it. He's excited. He loves that food truck. So
Yeah, I know. We tried, but unfortunately, it didn't pan out. But maybe
okay.
the next swap. But for this one, we're still gonna have concessions, and there will be pizza.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So this is definitely going to be a fun time.
Oh yeah.
So, kind of jumping into some other stuff. This is a Valaverse kind of tease, and he's got the Mexican flag on the vest there, and a medic as well. So I think there's a lot of stuff coming from Valaverse coming up with DFW GI Joe show coming up in 4 weeks. So the week after Joe Fest, Al and I are going to Joe Fest, but won't be able to make DFW. But there's going to be a ton of toy news coming out of there. I'm really interested to see what Bobby has coming from that. So be on the lookout for some cool stuff. He always has really cool things, wrapped up in the line. So interested to see what he's got coming. And then also, since we're going to be at Joe Fest, I saw this today and I had to throw it in there because you got Beverly Hills Cop. That's not Beverly Hills Cop, but it is. This is a 1/8. This is a 1/18 scale figure, but I'm probably going to pick this up. I think I got to have one of these. That would be cool to go with all the.
I mean, who doesn't want Eddie Murphy on their show?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And maybe it'll have a donkey ear accessory, so you can. That would be funny. But
What?
yeah, he said donkey from
I
Shrek.
know, but that's really
That would be funny.
Now I
Anyway.
don't feel bad about making banners when you're not looking.
Oh, what'd you make?
Nothing.
Uh-huh.
Nothing. Hold on. Let me delete that. Deleted. All right. Don't worry about it, buddy.
What'd you do, huh? All right.
All right.
We'll
yeah.
see.
Anyway.
All right. Someone got my back. Jimmy, you're in the chat. Stick up. Yeah. Hey, don't point on Jimmy. So, well, also at Joe Fest, you're going to have Eagle Force there with the golden bucket button, which is always cool that they do releases during their panels. This is pretty much Monster Force, Eagle Force, all this stuff here. The interesting Cops and Crooks is not there.
Yeah, the Cops and Crooks isn't there.
That was a big thing from last year. So we'll have to ask Bill and Mike about that from Big Bad Workshop. So we will definitely have them on soon, later on. But they're going to come on the show. But good dudes. So we'll see them at Joe Fest, and hopefully they'll have some cool releases, and we'll try to share that information. And then our buddy,
you just straight up dropped into toy news without me even getting to do the, the thing.
Well, you were making crazy banners behind my back.
Okay, now I feel better.
So our buddy Chris with Grindhouse Toys has some really cool stuff coming. This is an example of his VHS style artwork for one of his figures coming up for World War Hell, and there's some really cool stuff there.
It is award-winning box art.
Yeah, it is. So this is really cool line. I mean, Alan and I both have this guy, and it's super cool. So definitely check that out. His Kickstarter will be coming up soon, so we're going to have him on actually next
episode.
Yep, next episode.
Next Wednesday, Chris is going to grace us with his presence. He's a super cool dude, and this line, so Trey and I both, well, Trey does some of the vintage Joe stuff, but for the most part, we've stayed away to 1/18th. But man, recently things have been pulling us in, and this line, it's over. It's all right. It's over. I'm in. This looks super cool. Have you seen this yet, Ed?
I haven't seen those yet, so I'm taking notes here because I'm definitely going to look it up.
Okay, yeah.
Grindhouse Toys, awesome.
It's really cool. So it's 1/18th, but very updated articulation and stuff like that. And he's going to be in the show next week talking all about it. But it is definitely worth checking out. And the Kickstarter goes live next Friday. So we've got him right before launch.
It's going to be a good time. And then, ooh, that's kind of getting into my new hotness.
Okay.
But we're already here.
No, that's kind of take my money.
But take my money. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I'm getting there.
Uh-huh.
Shit, that was the wrong one. Hold on.
Yeah.
Where is it? No. Damn it. I don't think it's over here.
Yep. You're 0 for 2 right now.
I am over
everything.
All right. Well, whatever.
Okay.
I couldn't find it.
So, this is Patriot Force. And Patriot Force Kickstarter is live right now. And I was talking to Ryan, and he was sharing this stuff. Hey, Mikey's here. Throw him in there. Hey, Mikey.
He made it.
Going on?
You know, if you really were running like Tom Cruise, you would have been here 20 minutes ago.
Listen, I encountered some assassins. There was a family's home on fire. I adopted some kittens, and I'm running from there. So I got a lot of things going on the way here.
Saving babies and puppies from fire, from burning buildings, and kissing gorgeous women that you just saved them for, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what happened.
Alan, you want to abandon this and talk about Mikey and then come back?
We should talk to Mikey a bit.
Let's do that.
Let's do that for sure.
If we have to, I guess.
What did I just do? Oh, I removed him. How? Okay.
You removed the wrong thing.
I'm back.
Yeah, I did. It's all right. We'll figure it out. There we go. There we go. Mike, you got a little bit of a sweat going on. All right. You did it.
Told you.
Well, welcome to the show, man. We're very happy you could make it.
Happy to be here.
You went through trials and tribulations to make it happen. So happy to have you here, man.
We appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yeah. So we've been chatting with Ed quite a bit and going over tons of stuff, but he talked about you a little bit in the most positive of ways, except for that one thing.
Sure, he did.
We'll get back to that.
He knows I don't say anything nice about him.
Yeah, it's expected, but Mike, why don't you tell us about yourself? Tell us about the figure report, how you kind of got that going, what you collect. Give us the Mikey background.
Give me the Mikey story. So I was born in 1986 and born into a long lineage of toy collectors throughout my whole family. With the figure report, it was just something I've always wanted to do. Back in Miami, where I used to live, big toy collector. I was trying to figure out what would be the best way of sharing that with people. And so I used to write for an online magazine. And so I would just do a bunch of toy reviews, just basically for myself to kind of, no one was really podcasting about toys back then. They're like maybe like a handful of toy review channels. But yeah, and so I did that for a little bit. And then when I moved to New York, I just had a ton of toys. And my then girlfriend, who's my wife now, surprisingly, was like, "What are you gonna do with all these toys? You should do something with them." I'm like, "Yeah, right. Maybe you should like stop buying so many and just do something with the ones you have." I'm like, I don't know if I agree with you, but maybe that's a good pivot. So, and then I just developed the figure report from there, where I would do some live streams. I would do a lot of stuff on Instagram where, if there's any sort of breaking news, I try to put it out there. If there's people I can interview that are, that work in the toy industry, I love talking to them. If you've seen some of our content on Figures Not Included or Figure Report, I have, interviews with Jada Toys or Mondo or Hasbro. So I love talking to people and getting the inside scoop, as they say. Yeah. So and that's kind of what my toy path has been. And I am sweating so much. I'm so sorry. I'm glistening.
It's okay.
No, dude, you're struggling and working for your art here.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You made it happen. We're just happy to have you here. So what do you collect? What do you have specifics, or what's your favorites, or what do you think?
Favorites. It changes. It's like picking my favorite children if I had children, but it's that sort of thing where, it changes every day. One day it's like, oh, Jada's the best thing I've ever had in my life. And the next day it's like, bam, but this Mafex figure is so cool. So it changes. I think I've always been a pretty constant Hasbro shill, but I would go and try different stuff. I did DCUC for a long time.
Mhm.
That was probably my favorite line because that was the only line to collect in stores for a number of years. But right now, I think Mafex is probably my number one. It's pretty
Nice.
consistently always there. I'm always getting something from them. If
Yeah.
it's X-Men or DC, and they've also improved throughout their years. If you compare their Cyclops from years ago to the stuff they're doing now, it's the quality is so much better. And so
Yeah, they had a little bit of a bumpy run there for a bit with some QC stuff, but everything like that Daredevil, people cannot rave enough. I've
yeah,
got a few of their figures, and they are pretty fantastic.
yeah,
Not only that, but man, do they have a selection?
They
Like,
do. They have a nice selection.
Marvel, DC, Star Wars. I mean, tons of stuff, and that's killer. So no surprise there, man. That's a cool line.
yeah, they have a big variety, and that's what I like about them, and they do a lot of my favorite versions, which I'm sure, I mean, the most popular ones are Batman Hush or Death of Superman, and then Jim Lee X-Men. So it's like those are like the big three for me personally. So if they did Blackest Night, I might have a panic attack. That was one of my hero, if Blackest Night, that would be awesome. So yeah, they're sort of like always the consistent for me, so I dig them a lot.
Nice.
Well, I think it's cool that you and Ed, kind of have teamed up and got Figures Not Included going. And got to say, a little bit jealous that you managed to make it out to some of the big kind of like insider conventions, and got to go through and see some of the behind the scenes, and a little bit of schmoozing and stuff like that, which I'd probably be terrible at. But it is cool.
It was definitely Michael's connection, since he's been doing this for such a long time.
Yeah.
It was really fun because they weren't letting just anybody into like the Hasbro. It was like a press thing,
Right.
and only because Mikey's been doing it and he has press credentials that they let him in, and then we just kind of like stuck to his back and snuck in with him. We were able to get in there, and so but it was fun. He opened the door for us. So yeah, he's really made his mark there, and so it's like I said, he was right in the right spot to kind of team up and get us in the door and get us going with these things. So
you were the cameraman, and what Brian was the audio guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He was like the grip guy, like a backwards hat and short shorts and a tank top, holding a boom.
Well,
Right?
you got to play the part, man.
You gotta play the part. Exactly. You gotta sell it.
He's committed for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So tell us more about, like, I don't know, what else you got going on these days.
Yeah, so I'm also an actor in my spare time. My day-to-day job is in sports production. So a lot of I do some editing, I media management stuff, but it's around sports a lot, which I love sports, so that kind of works out. I used to play ice hockey for 15 years in Miami. So it's a very unusual thing to do.
Miami ice hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
An interesting combo.
Yeah, exactly. Miami ice hockey. So, but yeah, and then also since I moved to New York, it's like I got a little bit of that acting bug. So I started doing auditions, and when I get lucky, I book a gig. So I'm doing one right now. That's a show I can't talk about. You got to sign with NDAs, but excited to be part of it. Yeah, so it'll come out
from Canada, right?
Huh?
My model girlfriend from Canada. You wouldn't know her. It's okay.
I'm pretty sure I do. So, know her very well. Yeah. So, so I've just been doing that, and so I try to keep myself busy. Those are sort of my extracurriculars and the things that I enjoy. I enjoy all sorts of different arts, and when it comes to figures or film or anything, I'm totally in it in so many ways.
Awesome, dude. So are you going to make it down for the swap?
That's the thing. Sorry, Ed. Mikey not included on that one.
He is not included.
Not included. I wanted to. And we were talking about it for so long, and we planned it out, and then this job came along, right? And then I would have loved to have gone, obviously, but
all right, now, Ed, you need to have one of those full size like cutouts of Mikey standing.
I know. I'm just gonna carry it around with me.
Yeah. You can have a camera and do interviews and be like, he's just kind of stiff today, or something.
It's like, what is it? Weekend at Bernie's?
Something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
does have a- put on a body,
All right.
Very cool, man. So do y'all want to talk about some toys?
Yes.
Yeah.
We should probably get back to the toys.
Let's
would
talk
love
about
that.
some toys. So now Alan can redeem himself with the new hotness.
What's that?
You can
I can
redeem
redeem
yourself
myself?
with the new hotness.
New hotness.
How am I going to read? Oh,
New hotness is our segment about new toys that we're pre-ordering.
okay.
Ooh.
There
Actually,
it is.
that's not right, man. New hotness is the stuff that we've got in. Pre-orders is take my money.
You did new hotness then.
Come on.
Dude, I'm sorry.
We've been
You gotta do
doing
a
this
pre-production
for a
meeting
while.
before this?
This is only episode 34. Come on, man.
Get it together, boys. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, you do new hotness since we did that. Now,
Oh, okay,
now you got to do new
okay.
hotness.
I do
So,
have. Let me see how we want to put this up. Like this? That work?
Yeah, that'll do.
I think that's even better. All right. All right. So I did pick up. Got the retro Viper. Looking pretty cool. That hand, not this one. This hand is gargantuan. I don't know what that guy, but I think the girls like action figures with big hands, right? He's definitely got that one going on.
So they say.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, real cool figure. Not perfect. One of my legs is much stiffer than the other. And that hand just bothers me a little bit. Like, I know it's supposed to be there holding the weapon, but it just, I don't know.
It comes with a lot of hands, man.
It does. But, this was the pose that I wound up with. So
I was surprised it came with the Cobra Commander pointer hand in red. So,
yeah, that was a cool one. What else did I get? So this one is not exactly new hotness because I got this last week. But
Still
this
hot.
is
I want that.
Ryu Hayabusa, and he is awesome. I don't know if you can tell, but his eyes are movable, and so I've got him kind of doing the side eye on whoever he's getting to get a shuriken up somebody's butt here real quick. So he's taking a good look there. But this is Revoltech, one of my favorite brands. I love how superposable they are. You kind of have to deal with the joints being what they are.
Yeah.
You've kind of got some balls that you kind of cover up and stuff, but you get it in the right pose like this, like who he was looking at. That looks awesome, right?
Yeah.
So
did you get that bad, or did you get it off of one of the other sites?
This was in my pile of loot. So I got this from
It's
Big
134 on Big Bad, and I'm just seeing if I can maybe shop it around a little bit.
Yeah, I think you can get him cheaper from elsewhere, but
Check Hidden Temple Toys. I'm pretty sure he's a lot.
Do you have one?
Oh yeah, we had the exclusive version with the blood sword.
Ooh,
dang it.
Maybe I'll be getting that this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't get a blood sword.
You should.
Check
You should.
your local proprietor. of
Local
toys.
proprietor. Shop local.
Shop local. Exactly. We were just talking about it. I didn't expect you to have that, and that's the other surprise.
Oh, yeah. Well, like
I
as we're
didn't
talking about,
expect
imports has been really big for us, and we carry a lot of imports now. We just got the Revoltech Flash and Reverse Flash. We got the My Hero figures. We're getting Solid Snake. What other ones?
That one's another one I want.
Oh yeah. You got One Punch Man coming in soon.
Yeah, we're gonna have the One Punch Man. What other one did we get in recently though?
Oh, you got it in recently? You got Superboy, right?
Yeah, we got all the Mayfix ones. We got all the Superboys. Actually got one right here.
All right.
Hotness.
Well, that deserves to be shown off. Here you go.
Yeah, show it off.
Go down, baby.
So yeah, we got these in recently. So I have all of them so far. So I need to get my Superboy.
Nice.
We kind of messed around with him a little while ago. I think Mikey opened his up, and we were having fun talking about that one. So he's really fun. A lot of import ones. And while I'm up here, I'm going to show one that I really wanted. I'm a big old school anime fan, and I've been really wanting to get Spike here from Fig Zero. I know they do GI Joe stuff as well because I got the Snake Eyes, but I got Spike, and he's just freaking cool. A little light glare there, but
I have never watched that, but I've heard nothing but good things.
yeah, if it's classic anime. If you ever wanted to get into anime, Cowboy Bebop is like.
But skip the Netflix version, right?
Oh yeah, don't even, that doesn't exist in our minds anymore. True fans don't recognize that as a real thing.
So since we're talking about Hidden Temple toys, there is also a website, and you should go to it, and you can shop online.
Yeah, you can see we got the imports there. If you guys want to click, we got Yamaguchi, we got Mayfex, we got Figuarts. Pretty much all the good ones, and you might get them a little bit cheaper than one of the big stores, and we tend to get the exclusive versions too, so you might get some extra pieces.
All right.
Nice.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
What a pitch! What a sales pitch right there.
Nice.
Save
All
me
right,
that.
well, I've got more to show. So are you getting these guys?
Yeah, those are Joy Toy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I am now complete on my, well, actually with him.
Ooh.
I am now complete on my Primarchs, or at least the ones that are out. I now have all of them, and man, these are so nice.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They've really struck a nice balance from sculpting and looks and being adorned with all sorts of gadgets and crazy armor bits, but yet still being posable. I'm really into these guys right now. So.
Yeah, they're fantastic. We have some in the store now, but we've been slowly getting the rest of them on order. Hopefully they'll start shipping. Like I said, it's been a nightmare with distributors lately, but hopefully we'll start getting more of them trickling in. And
they are very cool. 1/18 scale, which we kind of talked about earlier, isn't normally my thing, but man, I couldn't pass these up. I saw a couple and was just like, okay, fine. So gone in deep with that. All right, so I've got two more that I'm going to show off. This one's interesting in that it's a bit of a mix of some stuff, and I'm not like, man, not sure about him.
Oh yeah,
this is Thomas Wayne, the super loaded out Batman's dad. If he didn't die in the alley in what Dark Metal? I forget exactly where.
Yeah, that's the Grim Knight, right? That's what they call him.
That's the
I think so. Yeah.
It's the Punisher version of Batman.
Yep.
It very much is
crazy.
Yeah. So okay. First off, let me go ahead and show the box here real quick because you guys will appreciate this. So this is the box, and it reminds me very much of old school Rumble Society boxes from Mezco. Mm-hmm. Just loaded with accessories. He's got multiple tiers in there. It's got like the magnetic flap. They've got a big instruction manual that basically it's got a bunch of pages that all boil down to heat it up before you play with it, which is kind of funny. But then it's got a whole separate box of additional accessories.
Wow.
With like batarangs, extra heads, all sorts of crazy stuff. He obviously, as I was showing off here, comes with an absolute ton of guns. Now, the guns that are sticking up on his back are held on with a magnet, and this is just one piece.
Right.
However, he actually does come with just a ton of guns. So currently he's got 2 pistols on him, actually 3 pistols.
Is there a bat logo on the chest behind all that?
Machine gun? No, it's not. However, he does have one that's magnetic in the extra parts.
Okay.
So you can attach. I think you have to take off this chest strap to put that on, because otherwise it would look weird sitting on top. Right. But it's magnetic and it adheres there. The head sculpt is really nice. He's got some cool guns. But okay, let me get into the mixed bag a little bit. So the articulation is actually pretty good. Double jointed legs, double jointed arms. Oops, I just dropped a gun. The guns are actually really nice too. So
nice. Cool.
this is kind of like an interesting submachine gun. He's got a bunch of smoke effects, none for the grenade launcher, but still quite a
I
few.
don't know many people that's done a grenade launcher effect, so that's
Yeah, so
something
that gun is
that
pretty slick. All right, so the mixed bag is he has some gauntlet armor, right? And this makes it difficult to get when you replace the hands, when you swap out the hands, it makes it difficult to get the hands on. Now, as you can see, I've been moving this guy all over the place, and the hand is in. It will move around. It's not coming off, so it's not as bad as like that Sub-Zero we had last year, but still, it's a pain in the butt to get the hands on and off. And uh, also, I noticed that strangely, like the butt stock on each of the two large guns, like isn't glued, which is kind of strange. Maybe mine just the glue, succumbed to the elements, and both of them kind of came off a little bit. It's super minor, but
Yeah.
all those little things kind of add up, right? But I will say, the head sculpt
that's pretty cool.
is
That's badass. Yeah.
really good. And so let me go ahead and get out. It comes with an unmasked sculpt that is also worth the price of admission, basically. All right. So, I mean, come on.
You
That
could
is-
use that for Bruce too. I mean,
You could. You absolutely could. Yeah.
older Bruce Wayne. I mean, it's his dad, so it doesn't
Yep.
matter.
Both of them, interestingly, and this is where it's kind of like, all right, I've crossed over from being an okay figure to just a pretty badass figure. There are magnets in the jaw, and you can pop on masks,
Oh, that's cool.
right?
Nice.
And
Nice.
so
I like that.
it works on that head sculpt as well as the masked head sculpt. So it comes with two of these, and there's even like a third, like a zombie Batman head sculpt that came in the little bonus box. It's a pretty cool figure.
Ed, you got that one?
What's that?
Ed, you got that one?
I do not have that one.
Okay.
But maybe soon.
How much was that one? About $100?
The deluxe was like 120,
That's not bad.
which I think came with a little bit of extra stuff. And what's interesting is mine came with more than it was even pictured to come with.
Yeah.
Like not by a little. Like he's got extra hands that weren't pictured, extra batarangs that weren't pictured, like an extra grenade or something. It's pretty cool.
I don't see Mezco making that one, but that's very Mezco-esque. So I'm like,
Oh, this is very Mezco-esque. And he actually comes with, you can take this off, to do it without that, or you can even use, it comes with a soft goods version, which is pretty cool. But I kind of like this look, kind of form fitting a little bit more.
Cool.
But so yeah, this guy showed up today, and not perfect, but overall, I think it's a win. I think it's a pretty easy win. So yeah.
Yeah, it looks great from here for sure.
Yeah, it's. I was actually really surprised. This magnet that holds the guns on the back, man, it's not screwing around. It is a strong magnet. So, okay, last up, this one is going to be high up in my list this year. Well, certainly the first half of the year, maybe even by the end of the year. This is...
Ooh, sexy ice.
Yep. Sexy Ice Unkval Eliminator. And wow, it's a combination. All right, now I'm not prone to hyperbole, but this is a combination Mafex and Revoltech.
Yeah.
The figure weighs an absolute ton, which is really cool. But yet all the joints move fantastically. They've done a better job of hiding the double joints than Revoltech does, but it gets like all of that kind of movement. And he's badass. I absolutely love him. I've got him in this really cool dynamic pose here. Comes with a bunch of stuff. He comes with a separate head where the mask is kind of like pulled up, and he's got like a skull mask on underneath. He comes with a great big gun. And there's like a 3-pack that you can get that has a drone that has like these wires that connect to these two things. I didn't roll in with the 3-pack because this was the first one from this series, but
And what is that again?
Sexy Ice Unkval Eliminator. So here's the box. And I'm absolutely in love with it right now.
Does it have die-cast parts or no?
No die cast. I mean, it feels like it weighs like it does, but no. This is it's all plastic, but it is solid. The joints hold super well. Everything moves really well. He doesn't necessarily have butterfly joints, but I mean, you can absolutely imitate that movement with the way they did the shoulder joint.
Yeah.
And yet it's all covered up with a shoulder pad. I'm smitten for sure. So
Very
Ed, you got anything else? New hotness?
nothing I can grab right away. So.
Mikey, what about you? You got anything new?
Man, not. I mean, Superboy is probably the newest thing I got, which Ed was showing in package, and it's just cool to complete. And I never got the Superman they released in the black suit and the cosmic suit, so now they're re-releasing it. So now I can actually complete the line because I got Steel, I got Eradicator.
Are all those easy to find? Because I would like to have a set of those, and I don't do McFarlane, so
it's not McFarlane, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Steel being on sale a bunch of times. He's such a great figure.
Ed's had him.
I've had him a few times in the store. I think I still have I have what's the other one?
Eradicator.
I still have Eradicator, and I have the Superboys. I don't know if I have any other ones of the Superman line though.
Oh, Cyborg Superman. Yeah. That's an important one.
Yeah, that's a really big one.
And the fact they're doing Doomsday too is just like it makes you want to have that full set. So
that's the one I'm looking forward to.
I only have a couple things. So Alan stole my thunder, but I got two. Two Vipers. So these are the retro Vipers, and I think I'm going to have to build a small squad of these.
And nobody was surprised.
Yeah. But I already have a huge squad of the other ones, so but then,
and nobody was surprised.
Rock and roll.
Ooh,
I love the OGs. And somebody was like, hey, my Hasbro Pulse hadn't come in. So somebody's like, this is on Amazon. Okay, I can use this. But I actually have customized my whole OG crew. So we need Zap, Short Fuse, Grand Slam. Who else? Steeler. And one more, right?
Who's the one that comes with the new rocket launcher they just announced?
Oh, Hawk. Yeah,
that's Colonel Hawk. Yeah,
Colonel Hawk. Yeah, not General Hawk, but Colonel Hawk. Yep. So those are the ones they still need to release, and we'll talk about that in the Yojo June stuff here in a second. So
Ed's jumping ahead.
You want to do a little take my money?
Let's do it. I couldn't find the graphic for it. I don't know what I did.
It's in there.
All right.
Okay. So my take my money is I've been talking with Ryan at Patriot Force, and that Kickstarter has started, and he keeps adding stuff to it. So this is a army builder figure with this really cool dark camo pattern on it.
That does look really cool.
That is awesome. And I know he's going to do a couple of these figures. So there is a new add-on with the Kickstarter where you can add any of the new add-on army builder figures. They don't come with gear, but we will get to that in a second. There is going to be a airdrop with some really awesome looking weapons. And so you can actually add on the airdrops as well. Sniper rifles, all this cool stuff. And you were talking about butt stocks earlier. I think he's got some adjustable stocks on these. Folding bipods, removable magazines, and removable suppressors. And these pistols look amazing. So really cool stuff coming from Patriot Force. There's another camo pattern that he's using on some figures. And then there's the mortar pit. Now, this is super cool. And you see him with a couple Joe figures there since his figures aren't out yet. But you're going to be able to put this together and have a complete sandbag mortar kit and I really do think he's got some other cool stuff coming down the road, but not really able to talk about it yet. But
They're cool.
I
They
will
remind me of
post
like
a link.
the G.I. Joe little playset things they would do where you would get stuff like this or the little lookout towers or bunkers and stuff like that. So very cool for 1/12 scale.
which
Yeah, I
they,
posted a link in chat if you want to go check out the Kickstarter.
yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, here it is, the Kickstarter. I'm a backer already, and I'm doing add-ons. But the first is 4 figures, but check out Figure Fight Club this Friday. He's going to have Ryan on and talk about the line as well. And we've done an episode. Go back and watch that. The first 50 minutes of that episode are talking about the Patriot Force line. So, oh, that's next. Let's not take my money. All right. Anybody else got any take my money?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think. Wait, maybe. Hold on. That would have required me to be prepared.
Be prepared.
I'm mostly prepared. It's coming.
Everyone has an off day, you know?
It happens.
I got a lot of stuff to talk about, so we can still go through all the G.I. Joe and the.
We can. Let me run through this real quick because there are a couple of cool things. So I am going to share my screen, and then I shall add it to the scene. All right. So Medi Toys is one of my favorites right now. I think they were on. We did a show where we talked about our favorite companies, and they were pretty high on my list. This is kind of a recolor, kind of a version 2 of.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Excuse you.
My bad.
Of a figure that they'd come out with, and I can't get it to really enlarge, so that's all right. But this looks awesome. The original figure was killer. They call this the Demon Hunter, but it's really a World of Warcraft character. I'm not sure if this armor is specific to the character in World of Warcraft, but this is the original figure was very cool. I might have to go ahead and pick this one up because I liked the first one so much, and this one looks pretty baller too. So yeah, he comes with some cool weapons. This little skull is what you use to light him up because his eyes do light up. Oh yeah, and you can see that there's this is like a limited edition for Wonderfest, but it will be available. It is. Or maybe will be available on 5K Toys. So check that out.
Cool.
This isn't exactly up for order yet, but the new He-Man looks pretty killer. This is early prototype, resin printed, hand painted.
1/12 scale, right?
But yes, this is actually, I think it's going to be kind of like 7-inch, kind of like Masterverse size is what I've heard.
Yeah, we actually saw these at WonderCon. They had the prototypes up. They weren't painted yet. So yeah, they were like 6-7 inch, Michael.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, they had the prototypes there about 6.5-7 inch. So yeah, and the prototype was awesome, but it's cool to see the sort of the painted.
Yeah, Mikey was smitten. He couldn't stop taking pictures.
Oh nice. Yeah, I agreed. Yeah, I mean, even if they're 7 inches, it's He-Man, right?
Yeah.
And then this is from InArt. This is 6 scale InArt figure, and this is, I mean, InArt is just showing you why they have the reputation that they do. Mm-hmm. I mean, because this looks fantastic. So Thorin Oakenshield, cool character, flawed. But I mean, man, what do I have to say about that? It's going to be expensive.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, he looks awesome. So I think there was one more. Yes.
Oh, I'm getting that.
Yeah. So Fans Hobby showed this off. They're doing a repaint of their what did they call it? Air Hawk or something goofy like that.
Air Eagle. It's the
Air Eagle, right? Because eagles normally don't go into the air. I don't know. But this looks pretty killer.
And it has the stand. I might have to get 2 stands because I need one for this. Or I might have the stand that comes with it. I don't know. I just display it.
Well, I know that you like this, and I love the fact that you can kind of transform it to get it to look like you want to. Change up the look a little bit, get it to look a little bit more G.I. Joe-ish. But yeah, this looks pretty cool.
The green one's awesome. I just need water slides for it. So this one's hopefully somebody at Joe Fest has that. The water slides
yeah.
for the regular
I'm
one.
sure.
And I think I might have to get this one, even if I have to hang it from the ceiling. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah. So that is it for me. Oh, wait, nope, I forgot. So I don't know what the hell is going on, but suddenly I've got like mermen in my collection, which is not something I ever would have said. I've got like Medi Toys. I've got Grey Knight. I've got Wave 3 from Savage Crucible coming. And even Plunderlings are kind of in that realm a little bit too. But now Star Arc is coming out with these two guys. I think they're calling them like Deep Ones.
Beautiful.
And yeah, these are pretty wild. You've got like an alternate head. I'm not sure. That color scheme looks awfully different from that, or at least maybe. Oh, I see. It's the lighting effect. It's an object source lighting on the head. So that's pretty cool. These look pretty slick, and I really like the colors on this one. So I think this one is going to get added to the collection. This one's pretty weird with the thing in its mouth and stuff, but yeah. So anyway, that's my take my money, I suppose.
Nice. Ed, Mikey, y'all got anything?
There was one that came to mind when you were saying take my money, because I was literally looking through some things the other day and I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, take my money. The Iron Studios is doing I think it's a 1/10 scale recreation of the original Ninja Turtles comic book cover in statue form.
Oh,
it's fantastic looking.
Nice.
It's like the little side, kind of like angled building tops with all 4 turtles.
Yeah.
And it just looked fantastic. And when I saw that, I was like, I need one of these for sure. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but I mean, I guess to save on space, it's not such a bad thing. But the detail on the turtles and it just looks fantastic. So if you guys get a chance to look that one up, I think you guys are going to dig it.
Nice.
Yeah, Iron Studios makes some pretty decent stuff for not super expensive, right?
Yeah, it's not too bad. A lot of these statues can go for a lot more. I think this one was, if I recall, it was in like the $300 to $400 range.
But it's going to be 3 figures, right?
It's 4. It's all 4 turtles together.
Sorry, 4. Yeah.
So very, very cool.
Yeah,
I'm definitely excited for that one.
Yeah. So with that, if we're done with this segment, let's drop into twice. All right. So
very moist.
Very moist. Yeah. So with that, we were going to talk, with interest of time, we're going to skip over the Marvel Legends, and I'm going to say, go watch Mikey's channel for the figure report. Go watch his rant on the Marvel Legends stream from last week. And it's pretty extensive. It will cover everything you need to know. Yep. I watched it. I enjoyed it. So I wasn't able to watch it live, but I was scrolling through YouTube and I was like, oh, Mikey's going to be on the show. Let me check it out. And it was a cool. I kind of listened more than I watched because I was driving, but it was cool to hear you talk about all that stuff. So go check that out. And we're going to roll into Yo Joe June because I love some Joes. And I was excited today. I did get to watch this one live, and I can't wait for this stuff. Budo, all the gear. Guys, what are your thoughts on Budo?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, I always love it when you get to see these renders of the Joes and what they're coming up with, and you just like the detail they give them. That's always been my favorite part about the classified line. It's just the amount of accessories and detail they put into their figures. They don't hold back on a lot of these guys, and you just look at this guy and you see the set of armor he's got, the different heads, the different helmets. I mean, this is like, when you want a figure, this is what you want. You want something that's really over the top, just really, really cool.
Awesome. Well, the fact that he comes with the ability to do like 2 completely different armor sets,
Mhm.
You know, so you can go with multiple looks. You can mix and match between the two. And I bought 2 of them, or should I say, I pre-ordered 2 of them.
Right.
Super excited for him.
I might have to do that now. I didn't even think about that. I might have to do another Budo. Mikey,
Yeah.
your thoughts on this guy?
Yeah, exactly. You got to do it too because you got the 2 looks, so
Yeah,
it
true,
makes
true.
perfect sense. Yeah, he looks great. I mean, I always love how GI Joes, just the playability of them they're so fun. They're just such fun figures. You just have a good time playing with those toys, and the fact that like this one is just this awesome samurai look, and it's really impressive. They just kind of get better and better. They have their hit and misses too, but this one's super cool. It was a really good stream, and considering this is just the first week out of the whole month of
The
June.
whole month. Yeah, we got one next week too.
Next
So I'm
week,
excited.
yeah, so this is just an appetizer, and it's
Yeah.
such a scrumptious appetizer of stuff. So.
My only complaint with this is that samurai carry their swords on the left.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of their sword wielding characters seemingly have been left-handed.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I wonder if that's a design choice on purpose.
Yeah.
But
It's definitely a thing. There was a couple of people talking about that in the chat.
But
okay.
the standard samurai is wear it on the left, blade up. And there was a reason for that. Because if you banged the scabbard of your sword against another samurai, you either had to deeply bow and apologize or fight to the death. And I think a lot of that ended in fighting to the death. But then then we're going to move on to Hawk and HMS. What's y'all's thoughts about this guy?
I love this one. This was really cool. I mentioned him a little earlier. I love all the accessory sets that you could get with the 3/4 inch GI Joe lines, and the missile launchers and all the little bases and stuff. And this is just right along those lines. I was just putting some of these together the other day, and it's so cool to see it in 1/6 scale. Obviously, you get another awesome figure. One of the more classic ones. So. I mean, this is definitely an exciting, fun one, and I love everything that kind of goes more retro, and this really feels like the old school GI Joe line. So yeah,
I love you got Colonel Hawk in 6-inch, and you have 2 versions of the character, and this is the OG, and I can't wait till they fill out the OG line. Mikey, any thoughts there, bud?
It's awesome. It's like continually awesome stuff. The effects how are we feeling about the effect? Because a lot of people say the smoke should come from the end and not from it should be reversed, right? And they haven't done that yet.
It's a lot of reuse on the fire effects, but I don't know many people outside of the missile blast that use any of the other stuff. I mean, I've seen them in some pictures and stuff. Mine are in a bin, and I don't really use them that much.
Yeah.
But,
same here.
If they were a little bit better, I would consider it. But I kind of pass on the effects because it looks cool. The whole thing.
Swirly ones are a little bit weird too. I'm not sure, what they think are making that kind of a look. But so I'll be honest. I really want the figure, but I'm passing on, buying the whole HMS or MMS. I forget.
HMS. MMS is Cobra. So I think the thing is that there's going to be people that are going to buy multiples of these. So people are going to have the Colonel Hawk either for sale or they're going to custom and army build that as a green shirt because this looks very, head swap or just leave the helmet on. You got a green shirt. So I like the fact that let's see if the next slide. Nope, that's Budo. I was going to say he comes with like 3 guns and a pistol. So I think that's, even though they're usually gummy, but I'm really digging this one. And then kind of another shot of Budo from today, and then Slice and Dice. I'm digging these guys. I think this is going to be cool. What's y'all's thoughts?
It's so cool. That might be the coolest thing I've seen GI Joe do in a while. That it's such an awesome. The colors, everything, the weapons, the design of them. It's
the sigh on the arm comes out of the sheath. Like, that's
so good.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with them. Like my GI Joe knowledge is not as deep, but I appreciate an awesome looking figure, and these are two of them. Yeah, they look awesome.
And I actually have some of this head sculpt, this dragon, and then these two weapons, and then it has the hat that goes with it that'll double as a shield. Yeah, I really like these extras that come with this figure. These figures, this 2-pack, and I can't wait to get these. I have these in regular vintage in the collection, and they're kind of later on in the line, but they're still cool ninjas. I love ninjas, so
yeah. Who doesn't?
And then we're gonna go into the cold slither.
Did they show, or did you show? I'm sorry, I was trying to pull up something relevant. Can you go back? All right, so they did a weird pose with I don't remember whether it was Slice.
This is a
Which one?
scorpion. It's Slice because he's got the hooks and he does like a scorpion pose. So there's another head sculpt that comes with that figure that looks like a scorpion. I didn't take a screenshot of it, but that one is super cool too.
So they did a weird pose with one of them, and this is Voldo from Soul Calibur, and I'm almost positive this is what they were going for.
Yeah, I see that.
Because he's got similar weapons, and he's doing that weird. And this is like I'm the weird guy that didn't play the normal fighting games. I did Soul Calibur and some of the little bit more obscure ones. So when I saw that, I was like, why does that look so familiar? And then it finally dawned on me, and so it's kind of cool that they I mean, it's so close. It kind of has to be what they were pulling off.
Definitely inspired by, even subconsciously.
So, anyway, I just wanted to show that. You can continue, Mr. Trey.
Okay. So we'll go to that. We showed that. And then Cold Slither. I think this is amazing, and I can't wait to get this.
Oh, yeah.
How hard do you think that this is going to be to get?
I don't think very many people are. Well, it seems pretty split down the middle. Mm-hmm. So, this isn't like Serpentor. This isn't, one of the main characters that everybody is just, wants to have in the collection. This is much more kind of niche. I think it's the perfect thing for an exclusive. They're going to overdo the packaging, which is going to be awesome. And hopefully they produce enough to where, yes, us plebes that aren't going to SDCC will be able to get it.
Yeah, because I want one of these.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Ed or Mikey, are either of you guys going to San Diego?
I don't know, Mikey, are we?
It's a work in progress still, but I'll get back to you on that one. We'd like to. We're trying to make it happen.
Well, if you do, hook a brother up, because this is cool stuff. And then, kind of coming to wrap this up, I was super happy to see this. She said there's going to be a HasLab announcement coming soon. You just need to chill, and it's going to be a Frosty release. This is what we're going to get. Yeah, baby. The Snowcat and Frostbite. I got it back here. And I did a custom of this guy using gridiron stuff, and I'm going to show it off real quick. So this is my custom Frostbite. That's using awesome. A snow job and a kit from Gridiron.
Cool. Nice.
And then this is actually from a Star Wars Snow Trooper. The ones from
the Range Trooper.
The Range Trooper, yeah. So everybody's gonna want Range Troopers so they can take that off and make make it custom. But I had this as a kid and I loved it. And I'm happy to have this in my vintage collection and kind of give you an idea of if you run across a windshield wiper, I need one. So I'll be looking for that at Joe Fest. I'm sure I could find one. There's a guy that has a whole wall of parts for vintage Joes. But the worst thing about this is the side pins break and a couple of other things that'll break on these. So this is a good addition of this one, but I love this vehicle as a kid, even though I didn't have snow in North Carolina. But, it was very rare, but I'm excited. I really hope it's a Snowcat. I'm pretty sure it's going to be. which then means when they get the Cobra, are we going to get the Arctic Wolf?
That'd be
Mm,
fantastic.
that would be cool.
Are you going to keep the snow theme and make that a continuing thing? I'd take it all. Give me all that. I need that. Need that. Need that toy in my collection.
So that's as far as comparing the vintage versions, that's considerably larger than the his tank, isn't it?
Yeah, I think some people. I think a Punk with Toys had a picture of it compared vintage wise. That it's just almost as big as the Hiss, and this is a beefy toy. It's gonna be worth it. I think they're gonna put lights in it. You have the missiles. I'm interested to see what they do to make this worth being a HasLab.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the his basically holds like two figures for the vintage, and so I mean, this one's significantly longer, at least.
Right.
I don't know if it's taller, but yeah, I'm anxious to see, what they come up with.
I'm questioning. So, like here in the back, you almost like this could be. I'll throw this back over here,
Like a troop carrier or
like
something.
a troop carrier. I'm wondering if they're going to
Yeah.
make this big enough that where you can make it a troop carrier, and then
Yeah.
have this on the top, and classified it up a little bit, and make it where it was big enough to carry some troops or something in the back. I think that would be a cool add-on.
Yeah, I
If they
definitely
did it right.
This one's gonna. I mean, it's gonna be comparable to the Hiss tank, I think, size wise. And the original Hiss tank, I don't know, maybe just because it's the 3 3/4 inch scale, it didn't feel that big. But the 1/12 scale version just feels massive.
Yeah.
So I feel this one, if it even is a little bit bigger than the Hiss tank, it's gonna be big.
Yeah.
And if they do add all the little bells and whistles like they did to the Hiss tanks, because I mean, it's fantastic with all the, the lights and all the little detail they put into that one. So I mean, this thing could be fantastic if they give it that same kind of treatment. And I mean, it's exciting. It's a really cool vehicle, and so to see it in that scale, and if it's really going to size up the way the Hiss tank did, I think people are just going to get blown away.
I think so. And then I have some fantastic photos. Anything else y'all want to talk about? We'll talk about some photos and wrap this up.
I think Jada, either they announced it or it got leaked. Their part of their SDCC exclusives is the flamed up body. So the blue fire body and like a red fire. So like
Oh
when you
yeah,
get
from when you get
burned
burned up and then
fireball, you get burned up. Yeah, the burned up body.
they have the weird like falling in a certain
yeah,
direction. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So they show those off. So
That'll be neat. Are they articulated, or how they even look?
they looked. I don't know. Let me if I take a look at
In
them.
the pixels, they just look like kind of like thick blobs of fire.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. They look like just blobs of fire from this image. So, but they're still cool. I mean,
No, I mean it's a great accessory for the line. So
yeah. But I don't know if it comes like I don't know if this is just part of an accessory pack.
yeah.
Like if they're bringing like more effects, is it bringing damaged faces?
Yeah.
Where is this going? So
that
I'm
would
really
be a cool accessory pack, I think.
Yeah, all the damaged faces of all the characters.
Mhm.
I would
Yeah.
love
Yeah, I think that's kind of what might be happening here. So, I'm
that.
excited.
I want a car that they can beat up, like the old crash test dummy car.
Yeah.
Off as you hit it. Yeah, Jada can do it.
Kind of like what was it? The WWE series they did where parts came off of vehicles. It was the one of the cars, and they could beat it up and it fall apart, and the doors come off, and the trunk comes off.
What they need to do.
Something like that. Hey, that would be cool. So
Use a car door as a weapon.
right. So with that, let's roll into some fantastic photos. So this is Matea Toy Photography, and all of these are G.I. Joe related.
Of
But
course.
I love the depth that he creates here, and the behind the scenes you can see, him setting this up. And I think he did a really good job with the ramen van. And this is a super cool scene. I love the way they did it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love the way that the van itself looks, the light that he uses on that one. It just makes it look really realistic.
He really changed up the road.
Yeah.
Like you can almost not even make it out versus
Oh
the
yeah.
behind the scenes.
And
Obviously, he added the lights to the van too, which is cool. But yeah, that's
and
wild.
there's a couple other pictures in here. I'm going to show different scenes, same guy, but he uses these. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but you see some shadows and you see the leaves. I'm not so sure. I don't know if he uses those intentionally, but I just thought it was cool because you kind of get some other shadows.
Oh, that's cool.
And so this is another version of that. And I just kept thinking, what happened to Scarlett? She's under the van. And but this is just cool because this is just like, hey, this is maybe the next scene or something in that same thing. But check out Mateo Toy Photography. That's his QR code. Goes to his IG. Give him a follow. I think he's doing some really cool work there. And then we're gonna go to Figmatic Finds, and I love an extreme set, and I've actually done a setup like this with Batman figures. So this is really cool. I love how he put this together. And there's the one final picture. Come around the corner. Joe's are going to give him a surprise, but go follow Figmatic Finds. And then a couple of things from Danger Room Toy Photography. Mr. David L. Katzenbogen here. Bazooka, firing a rocket. And that Mezco Snake Eyes is just amazing. But I love when people show action. And here's another one with some depth to it. Go follow Danger Room Photography. So,
Dial Tone, I love that guy.
yeah, Dalton's cool. A lot of people are upset that they can't get Dalton.
I still don't have him.
I got him.
Of course you do.
And so here's kind of the aftermath of Bazooka's first shot. And this is cool. I like how they kind of disassembled the bat and made an explosion setup and added the smoke. And go follow Romper's room. There's another picture from him.
Oh, Road Pig. That's awesome.
Yeah. Road Pig came with some really cool accessories. I like the helmet that they gave him, but then you had the mask and you had several different, hammer, and then you had the cement block. So I love how they gave you the classic, but then they also gave you the classified version.
Yeah.
I could have done without the bad tattoo, but
This just in, Patriot Force has sent Trey some pictures on Instagram. Putting Trey on the spot.
huh?
Never before shown publicly pictures from Patriot Force.
Come on.
Huh?
Careful.
Oh God.
Was it during the stream?
Yeah, well, it's right now. Right now. He just
Okay.
did it.
Well, show them off.
No, he sent them to you.
Okay.
Oh God.
I gotta see him first. Hold on.
Hold on. He'll figure it out. I'm gonna do the thing.
Yeah.
Computer?
Okay, computer.
Computer.
Yeah, make fun of me, huh?
Hello, computer.
I'm not logged into Instagram on my computer, so I'm a phone only or take screenshots and post them or something. But, yeah, there you go. That's the first thing we showed.
All right, hold on. Okay.
So that's technically what I showed earlier with the weapon.
Yeah.
And then
It looks like he's got an attachment on his helmet.
it does. Kinda, you can see that.
Okay.
And then basically the same thing, but with the desert look.
Looks good.
So I'm liking that. And then this is the first time seeing this one. Little Arctic action.
Ooh, Arctic. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Some army builders.
This is definitely a line that I think is going to, this needs to fund. I want this to fund.
Yeah.
Please go back it. This is a cool line. And it's going to do nothing but accessorize, G.I. Joe and Valiverse. And it's going to be great. Alex, in the chat, thank you. Thank you.
Black multicam, Alpine multicam, and Arid multicam.
Nice.
So that's what you just showed off. That's really cool. Man,
Awesome.
dropping some news. Coming in hot.
Coming in hot.
Smoking.
Nice. Well, thank you for sending that.
I think with that, we can kind of close this one out. That's pretty awesome.
Well, fellas, thank you for coming out. We enjoyed having you on the show.
Our pleasure.
Guys, it was a lot of fun. Mikey, I know you worked up a sweat just to make it here. Super appreciate that, man.
Right off. It only took me 2 hours, but we made it.
I wish you could come Saturday, man. So maybe next year.
Maybe, yeah. Would love to be there, but you guys have fun in my absence.
We definitely will, man.
yeah.
And, really appreciate you coming on the show. It was a lot of fun. Good episode. Ed, love talking to you as always. No surprise there. So, good one, guys.
We'll have a lot of fun on Saturday, so looking forward to that.
We will. If you can come out, you owe it to yourself to make it out if you're a toy collector. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, man, spend some money at my table, especially before you do it trays.
Good,
All right, guys. Well, we will chat with you later. Thanks,
guys.
Thanks to everybody in chat, and we will see you next week.
Later.
Yeah, we were on a mission, got my crew at my side. Scouring the shells, we're down for the ride. Plastic warriors all lined up tight. From the comic shop counters to the late night site. It's the thrill of the hunt, gotta make it mine. I'm out here searching, yeah, taking my time. I'll flip every aisle, don't care what it takes. For that rare chase piece, I'm raising the stakes. Action figure alliance, yeah, we're bringing the noise. Rolling deep, rolling heavy with my action toys. Collectors unite, we're breaking the chains.